Power. Noun. The capacity or ability to direct or influence the behaviour of others or the course of events. Control. Noun. The power to influence or direct people's behaviour or the course of events. Strength. Noun. The quality or state of being physically strong. Alternatively, the emotional or mental qualities necessary in dealing with difficult or distressing situations. What do these have in common? Humans. Humans need each of these qualities. Let's start with power. We all want to feel like we have power over everyone and everything. We always want to have the upper hand in life. It doesn't matter that everyone is on their own path. We all want the better life experience than everyone else to feel like we have power over them, even if that power is unnecessary or misplaced. Similarly, with control, we feel like we need that to do everything that we want to do with our lives. If we have both control and power, then we feel more capable that we can achieve. There's no plot twists, no hidden surprises, and no unexpected turn of events. But if those things do happen, then we have to have the strength to deal with it. Strength is something that everyone needs in every situation. Without it, we as humans crumble, not just physically, but mentally. Personally, I like having control and power over things that affect me. If I don't have it, well, then I lose confidence in myself and lose the little strength that I have. Trying to remain in control and have power over everything brings about consequences, not just to myself, but to the people around me. You see, I don't want to feel like I need all of this control and power to be happy. There's so many other things that affect happiness. I'm trying not to let the smallest things get to me. I'm trying to have power over the negative things which constantly surround me. I'm trying to keep control over my emotions so I don't upset anyone and push them away. I'm trying to be strong for myself because nobody's going to do it for me. But most of all, I'm trying not to explode. Now, when a person explodes, they don't spontaneously combust. It's usually emotion-based. The idea is that someone hides their emotions from others, and by doing so, it builds up so much inside of them that they've got to let it out to feel better. It's kind of like everyone is their own little personal volcano just waiting to explode. Now, volcanoes explode because of
pressure in the earth.
Sorry, what?
Pressure in the earth. Don't worry, I'll elaborate, but I need someone to do the accompanying drawings.
That wasn't a question, was it?
No, it wasn't.
So what exactly do you want me to draw then?
Volcanoes and the earth and stuff. Oh, you'll be fine, just follow my lead.
Okay.
Hi everybody, good to see you all. Glad to see you survived the deadly eruption to be here today. I'd like to welcome you all to my amazing, award-winning series called Hazardville. And in this very special instalment, we're going to learn all about volcanoes today. Can I get an ooh?
Ooh?
Definitely needs work. Volcanoes have been around for hundreds of thousands of years. The oldest is Mount Etna in Italy, which is 350,000 years old. Psst. You're a little early with the drawing of the Earth.
Well, what could I draw instead?
Mount Etna, obviously.
But I already drew a volcano. Look, there.
It's not big enough.
Is that better? Hello? Is that
Much
better?
better.
Okay,
So everybody, I bet you're wondering how volcanoes form. Well, deep beneath the earth are layers, and these layers contribute to the forming of a volcano. Right at the centre of the earth is the core, which is made up of two layers, inner and outer, and they're as hot as the sun. Ouch! The next layer makes up about 85% of the earth and is called the mantle. Inside the mantle are molten rocks or magma, which move about because it's so hot. It can reach up to 1000 degrees Celsius in there. The final layer is the layer which we're all standing on, the crust. Now imagine this like the crust of a slice of bread.
Yummy.
No, only I can do the yummy.
Oh, sorry.
This is the smallest layer of the earth and is broken up into smaller pieces of rock called tectonic plates, which are constantly moving. There are three places where volcanoes form. At divergent plate boundaries, the tectonic plates move apart and the magma from the mantle rises to the surface. As the magma reaches the surface and erupts out of the ground, it is now called lava. The lava cools and forms new rock. Over time, many layers of rock are formed and this creates a volcano. With each eruption of a volcano, more lava flows through the vent, the tube that forms in the middle, and explodes out of the crater, which is basically the summit of the volcano. At convergent plate boundaries, the plates move towards each other and the pressure causes one plate to plunge into the mantle and melt, forming new magma. There are also hot spots in the mantle where large amounts of magma have accumulated. At hotspots and convergent plate boundaries, magma is able to rise through the gaps and cracks and form a volcano. All make sense? Fabulous.
No, can you go a bit slower, please? I
I
can't.
didn't ask you. And no, you have to keep up with me whether you like it or not.
Fine.
Now we'll get on to the exciting stuff. Eruptions. The magma inside the mantle will try to float to the top as it is less dense than the rocks around it and seek out cracks and spaces to go into. With the right conditions, such as extreme pressure, changing heat and tectonic activity, the magma can erupt through the Earth's crust, causing an incredible sight. A volcanic explosion. Now, I get very excited about volcanic eruptions because they just look so cool and so powerful and so hot and so fierce and... Don't rush me. I'm in charge of this scene. Of course, it's not good news for anyone within the vicinity. Firstly, you experience a sonic boom kind of noise, about 200 decibels. In comparison, a firework is 150 to 175 decibels. The loudest sound ever recorded was actually the Krakatoa volcanic eruption in 1883, which was 310 decibels and could be heard over 3,000 miles away. Experts believe that if you were standing a mere 10 miles away, you'd instantly become deaf. So good thing we weren't around back then. Excuse me?
Yeah.
Where's the drawing of the firework and the effects of the Krakatoa eruption?
Oh, I didn't really think they were that important, so I just drew a big volcano.
Everything I say is important, and that's a terrible volcano. Your drawing skills need to get better and get quicker, or I'll just find somebody else.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll try harder.
Good. After the sound, you see large amounts of debris being thrown from the crater. This debris can be in the form of a giant gas and ash cloud which can soar up to 35 miles high. The cloud is made up of rock, mineral and glass particles, can be as hot as 800 degrees Celsius and can travel up to 200 kilometers per hour. This is not to be confused with a pyroclastic flow, which is made up of solidified lava pieces, volcanic ash and hot gases, can be as hot as 1000 degrees Celsius and can travel up to 700 kilometers per hour. Debris can also be in the form of volcanic bombs, which are masses of lava blown from the crater which hardens in mid-flight, and deadly volcanic mud flows called lahars, which are landslides created when melted ice, water or rain mixes with ash and debris and can reach 100 miles per hour. Any lava flowing out of the volcano is also about 1000 degrees Celsius. Lava can be thin and quick moving or thick and slow like honey. I really hope all that made sense along with those, terrible drawings.
Hey, I'm trying my best.
And your best clearly isn't good enough today.
It's not, is it?
Depending on the type of eruption, it depends on what destructive forces race towards civilization, but all of them are just as deadly as each other. They all burn and destroy anything in their path. You wouldn't want to come face to face with any of them. If you were close enough, or if any of them touched you, you'd experience very severe burns through every layer of skin, and would require skin grafts and surgeries to heal them. If you were submerged within any of them and couldn't escape quickly, unfortunately, you would die. Now, what's that supposed to be?
Well, that's meant to be a guy on fire, but I can't really
Very insensitive.
I mean, we're talking about volcanoes, you know.
Apologise.
But what?
Apologise.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Moving swiftly on. You wouldn't drown in lava as it's very dense, and it is possible to drink. Yes, you heard me correctly. Drink lava, but you can only do that once, as it would burn your lungs out to nothing and you would burst into flames. Probably. We don't know for sure, as testing it would be impossible.
And just a little bit insane. Don't tell me. Let me guess, that's just a you thing as well. Isn't it?
Oh, you're learning! Oh, I'm so proud of you. The impacts of volcanic eruption on humans could last for many years. As we've already learned, the destructive outcomes of a volcano destroy anything in their path, damaging any and all infrastructure in the area. Anything left standing would be completely buried in ash, and if it was something like a car, it won't work anymore. Why have you drawn the car as big as the house?
Well, just have, okay? I can't draw small cars quickly.
You can't draw at all, to be honest.
I'll ignore that comment.
Anyway, the cleanup after a volcanic eruption won't start immediately either. The toxic gases in the air mean it's ridiculously unsafe to be in the area for some time after the eruption. Hundreds of people have lost their homes, their belongings, and maybe even their loved ones, and would feel the horrible psychological effects and trauma from the experience. Whole civilizations have to be rebuilt, but things like that take time, money, and effort, and the local and national government may not be the most efficient at trying to rebuild a society and provide aid to those who have been displaced. Or they're just way too lazy to do anything about it, just like me. What was that?
Oh, nothing. Do continue.
Anyway, while society tries to return to normal, there is no knowing when the next eruption may be. The story of a volcano is never ending. All you can do is look out for the warning signs and evacuate as soon as possible. Or, if you're a smart arse and can afford it, just move out to an area not threatened by volcanic activity, so you don't need to worry about it. It's no longer your problem. That concludes today's instalment of Hazardville. See you next time, where we'll be talking all about earthquakes and how to survive them. Till then, keep surviving.
Earthquakes. See, she said earthquakes. Earthquakes, I guess, are pretty unstable. We, the humans I mean, try to control everything in our lives and keep everything stable. But there's so many things that we have to try and control and keep under control and keep stable. How do we have power and keep control over all of these aspects of life? Aspects of life, what are those? Well, work's a big part of everyone's life. Everyone's got bills to pay. Working full time is pretty shattering, but at least you've got the stability of an income. Then there's sleep. Sleep's the other big part of everyone's life. Experts say adults need 7 to 9 hours sleep each night. Controlling what time you go to bed is pretty easy, but what time you actually end up sleeping depends on things like how tired you are, how comfortable you are, and these are just things outside of your control. And what about the social side of life? Being in a relationship is one of them. Obviously, you need to spend time with your partner. It's much easier to do that when you live together compared with being a 2-hour drive apart, for example. Seeing friends is the other. It's hard to even arrange something because everyone has their own schedule which somehow never matches up to anyone else's, and you just can't control that. Some of those plans are to do with family. Seeing your family while you can. That, I think, is easier to do than seeing your friends. At least you can go to your parents' house and visit for a couple of days. What about some you time? It's good to do things for yourself rather than for other people. Things like reading a book, learning the guitar, whatever it is that you like to do for fun. But unfortunately, you're not in control of how much time you have for these things. General adulting will always get in the way. Mainly things you need to do to survive. Things like food shopping, cleaning, laundry. These aren't things that you want to do, but you have to. How do you have so much stability and control over all of these aspects of life? Or maybe you don't. There's so much that we're conditioned to believe that we have to do with our lives. There aren't enough hours in the day for everything. And if you want to try and do everything, then something has to give, even if you don't want it to. How unfair is that? Can you imagine not having one of these things in order to stabilize and keep control of all the others? Not seeing your family, not having a break. Each of these things is so important, yet together are impossible to keep stable and under control. It really makes you think, is there even any stability in life? Think about it. Your home is temporary. Your belongings, temporary. Your life, temporary. Nothing lasts forever. Everything is unstable, yet we try to stabilize and keep control over all of these aspects of life. But for what? To make us feel better? To make us feel like we're winning at life? It's not a competition, so why does it feel like it? The reality of it all is that you have to try and balance everything and keep everything stable. You have to have power over it. You have to have control over it. And that's just something I don't know how to do. So I'm asking you, how do you do it? Control is just an illusion. An illusion that helps me get by. Control doesn't exist. The truth is, I'm really scared. I'm heading out into the big wide world and I'm just really scared. I'm just getting on with it, I guess. Whatever it is. There's endless possibilities and endless paths, and I don't know what to do. I'm scared that the path I choose isn't good enough. There's always more out there, more to see, more to do, better opportunities to be had. I'm scared that this isn't good enough, that I'm not good enough, that everything I've worked towards is for nothing. There's a quote, which I love, but I never know how I would say it. Life is a book. and there are 1,000 pages I've not read yet? Or should that be, life is a book, and there are 1,000 pages I've not written yet? Is life pre-made, or do I create it? I don't know. But what if there aren't 1,000 pages left but 100? Or even 10? Can you control what happens on these pages, or is life preset from the moment that you're born? The unknown and uncertainty of it all is truly terrifying when you think about it. Everything in life is unexpected. You can't plan for anything because the world could end tomorrow. But we don't think about these things. We don't think about what we can't control. We just try to get by with what we have, whatever that is. Put the fears of the unknown behind us. Distract ourselves from it so we don't curl up into a terrified ball not wanting to leave the corner of our room. It's scary. Life is scary. Life is unpredictable. Life makes us feel alive, yet it also makes us feel the worst things imaginable. I don't think I signed up for a life of uncertainty. Honestly, I have no idea what I'm doing. No idea of what exactly the future holds, what path I'm going to go down. I feel like I'm just waiting. Just waiting to have that eureka moment where I suddenly know what my calling is. This wasn't always the case, but has been for the past couple of years. You see, I have the power to do whatever it is that I want with my life, but where the bloody hell do I start? Control is just an illusion. It doesn't exist. Oh. Maybe I should stop thinking about control and start thinking about how much power I have. Because if I have power over every aspect of my life, then I also have power on how much control I have in my life.
Hello everybody, good to see you again. Yes, I'm back. I got bored. She's always moping around and complaining. Like, girl, give it a break. Nobody cares.
I can hear you, you know.
I know, and I don't care. It's my time to shine once again. On today's instalment of Hazardville, I'm going to teach you how to survive an earthquake with my utterly brilliant survival guide.
Really wouldn't go that far, but you know, whatever floats your boat, that's fine.
All I need you to do is follow my instructions.
Oh, and here?
We're not going to try drawing again since that worked out so well last time. So you ready?
No.
Good.
Good?
There's no way you can prepare for an earthquake. They just happen.
Okay.
So there's actually a few things that you can do. Firstly, you can familiarise yourself with natural hazards that could happen in your area.
Earthquakes don't happen in Worcester. Flooding, maybe, but earthquakes?
Shut up. This is my survival guide. Check the building for cracks, damages, faulty wiring, stuff like that, and repair them. Not you, you idiot. You break everything you touch. Get a professional to do it.
Sorry, is anyone a professional who could fix that for me right now?
Not now. I don't have all day.
All right.
Next, you need to secure heavy furniture to the walls or floor so they don't fall over and crush you and break your tiny body.
Hey, I'm not that small.
Yeah, you are. Now please, shut up.
Fine, okay, go ahead. Say what you've got to say.
Aw, how kind. Next, you need to prepare an emergency kit. In it you need a torch, batteries, radio, first aid kit, non-perishable food, water, candles, matches, knife, whistle, water purifying tablets, can opener, essential medicines, cash or credit cards, rope, sensible and sturdy shoes, and finally, personal documents. You also need to know a few things, like nearest fire extinguishers, contact numbers of important people, family meeting point, nearby shelters and safe zones. Are you even listening to me? Hello?
Oh, sorry, yeah, I'm listening to you. I just really don't care.
Why not?
Well, because I have none of the equipment here to do what you're telling me to, so how do you expect me to do it then? Honestly.
I don't know. Improvise. That's your job. And if you can't think of anything, well, you're just going to die then, aren't you? There's no point you listening to anything else that I have to say.
Good. Go away then.
Excuse me? Stop acting so rebellious and let me continue.
Fine. Look, I'm up.
Rude, but alright. So, during an earthquake, when everything is shaking and the ground is tearing itself up, things are falling off shelves and tables and... Don't give me that look. I'm trying to build the atmosphere. If you're inside when an earthquake happens, you need to drop to the floor, cover your neck and head, and crawl under a table. Hold on until the quake stops and it is safe to leave. If you're unlucky enough to be in bed when it happens, then you can just stay in bed.
Brilliant.
But don't go back to sleep. I said don't go back to sleep.
Oh, just give me 5 minutes, it'll be alright.
No, stop sleeping. You're experiencing an earthquake.
Fine.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Cover your head with a pillow and leave when the shaking stops. If you're outside when it happens, then stay away from everything. And I mean it. Buildings, trees, utility wires, everything. Anything could collapse at any moment. Trust nothing. Everything is dangerous. After an earthquake, you need to leave the building if you are inside.
Right, bye.
Not you! We need you for the show, you idiot! You need to stay in the open space and away from everything. Don't even think about going inside either. Not for food,
Oh.
not for your cat,
Oh.
not for anything. That building could collapse at any moment, and I am not responsible for cleaning up your corpse.
Oh, thanks, mate. I really appreciate that, you know.
You're welcome. Check on your neighbours, especially the elderly or disabled.
Hiya, how's it going? Pretty scary earthquake we had back there, wasn't it? Oh
Check
my
for
God.
injuries and apply first aid if you can.
Are you injured at all? No? Brilliant. I don't know first aid anyway.
You're useless, aren't you?
Yeah, clearly.
If for whatever reason you are trapped under debris or in a building, don't move about or you'll kick up dust. Cover your mouth instead, and if you can tap on a wall or pipe, do that. Try and alert people to your position, but shout only as a last resort because of the dust. Whatever you do during or after an earthquake, don't panic or run away frantically. I know you're very good at panicking, but don't do that. And you hate running as well, so no fears about that.
Are you done?
Finally, be aware of any aftershocks that might happen and stay away from beaches and beware of tsunamis. Okay, I'm done now.
You try and jinx it?
Jinx what?
A tsunami?
If you're near a coastal area, it's actually quite likely the earthquake will cause a tsunami.
So what? You want another little slot where you just insult me
But
then?
it's funny insulting
Well,
you.
it's not funny for me, is it?
Well, it is for me.
Who the hell even are you? What gives you the right to waltz in here and insult me? Do you just love the sound of your own voice or something? God.
I'm just trying to be helpful, but clearly you don't want my help.
No, I don't want your help. I just want you to leave.
But I have all of this information that is really beneficial, and if I wasn't here, you'd be a lot more lost than you actually are.
So what is it that you want? Control? Because guess what? Control doesn't exist and I'm not letting you control me. The only person who can control me is me.
I'm not trying to control
You are!
Okay, maybe a bit. But you wouldn't survive without me. I'm telling you, there are things beyond our control, but with the right knowledge, you can survive anything.
Okay. So, how would I survive this tsunami then? Come on, I'm listening. I'm all ears.
You'd find higher ground, for example, on a roof of a building.
Where?
I don't know.
Exactly. You can't control me because there's nothing here to make you control me or make me obey.
But can I just...
No! I want you to leave!
I don't want to go.
Well, I don't care. You're going to go if you like it or not. At least that I can control.
What are you going to do? Pull the plug or something?
You know, it's not actually a bad idea.
No, don't do that. I didn't mean it. Please stop. I need someone to talk to and tell them all this information. I'm nothing without you. Look, I haven't been mean to you in at least a minute. Please just don't unplug me.
Throughout the past half an hour or so, I've discussed the idea of control, power and strength and compared myself and my feelings to that of a natural hazard. Volcanoes, earthquakes and tsunamis have so much power and so much strength, and both have so much control over what they do and where they go, and also have no control over these things. I don't really think anyone understands their feelings, but I think there's things that you can compare emotions to perfectly. I like to think that everyone is their own natural hazard just waiting to explode. Under the right conditions, we crack and we are destructive, and there's very little that we can actually do about it. I've always been fascinated by the geophysical hazards more than the others, so that's things like earthquakes and volcanoes. Tsunamis are hydrological, by the way, but they still really fascinate me. I think it's really interesting how we try to learn so much about them, and essentially we try to control them, but they are so natural and they can't be controlled. From the start of the process, I wanted to write something from the perspective of a natural hazard because, as I say, they are so natural, they can't be controlled, but also they don't feel any emotion. So what would they say if they could speak to us? I think they'd say, control. A simple word, yet lack of it sends your life backward. I am here, and you are there. I make people worry that their life will end in a flurry. They cannot control what it is that I do, and my outbursts may be long overdue. I turn from being something you marvel at to your worst nightmare. Anything and everything in my path I shall tear into little pieces, leaving no remains. You know in your heart you cannot complain. For here I am in your darkest hour. Look, I'm sorry I had to turn it so sour. But there is nothing I could do to be stopped. All of the destruction, I know you wish it was photoshopped. I know you humans like the power, the control, the strength, and do not like to cower. But here I am, and there you are. Look, I'm aware all of this is a little bizarre. But I don't feel guilt for your life that must be rebuilt. I don't feel remorse for throwing your life off course. I'm not apologetic for your life that is now hectic. There is nothing I could have done to save you from the war that I won. You don't exist to me. I'm aware that my tectonic plates are far from your mates, and trust me when I say this build-up of pressure has caused this dismay, for it could not simply disappear somewhere interior and not quite so near. I had no control over this event, but I had the power to destroy your present. I had no choice to be in your way and to force you to quickly run away from everything you know and hold dear. I understand why you were shedding a tear. But you cannot blame me for being so deadly when all the death and destruction is part of how I function. I am a part of nature. I know that I'm destructive, but I've heard that you are worse. The rainforest is dying and pollution is rising. Animals are becoming extinct and are losing their instinct. The waste you create has left this world in a state. I am the nature that fights back when the rest of it is under attack. So how dare you say that this is hatred that I display when you show me the same? So who is really to blame? You're trying to interfere with something you do not find clear. You are trying to understand why it is I wreck your land. You are trying to be in control and find any loophole. You are trying to have power. But let me tell you that authority doesn't equal security, and your home is temporary even though it is necessary. Anyone and everyone who has experienced what I have done has been through the rough, and to thrive again, you must be tough. You have to believe, and only then can you achieve the life that you previously had before my actions turned it bad. I just want you to know that you are more than your sorrow. You're strong, just like me. You're powerful, just like me. You're assertive, just like me. And you're beautiful, just like me. We are similar, you and I. And I know that I wrecked you, but you are resilient to get through. It will be okay in the end, and then you can pretend that I was just a setback and your life is on track. You may not have control, but you have power. You have the power to be strong. You have the power to be whoever. You have the power to do whatever. Don't think about control, because that is an illusion. There's so much more you can be. There's so much more you can do. Don't let anything take that power away from you. Even in your scariest moments, when the world is against you, when your mind doesn't let you rest, there is always tomorrow and there is light at the end of the tunnel. Believe me when I say that today was not your day, but everything will be okay.